Prisoners are still people. It's not the prisoners that need reformation, it's the prisons. Oscar Wilde, Irish poet and playwright. Today I will talk to you guys about the changes that should be made in the criminal justice system and the United States prison system. These changes will decrease our prison population, saving the country money, and help keep families together. I'll use statistics and quotes to show you just how many changes need to be made in the criminal justice system to make it as fair and effective as possible, and as it should be. There's been a 500% increase in the last 40 years of the number of people in the United States jails and prisons. These numbers are astronomical. Ever since the policies put into place in the 1980s, the prison population of the United States has skyrocketed, giving us the highest incarceration rate in the world. The issues regarding criminal justice and prison reform have always been swept under the rug. Politicians try to enact laws and rulings to benefit those incarcerated, but few have worked, and the prison population keeps growing. The first step to my plan would be to propose a bill to the government which creates much smaller sentences for nonviolent drug crimes in hopes that it would lead to the decriminalization of recreational drugs such as marijuana. This would also help to keep the prison population down. Other parts of my plan include a full psychiatric evaluation of prisoners if they are found to be mentally ill, to put them in a mental institution rather than a prison, because putting them behind bars can only further their issues. This would be the same thing with drug addicts and alcohol abusers coming into prison. I would put them in a rehab program before their symptoms get worse so that they can get the proper help. Prisoners should also be given the chance to get educated and have some sort of vocational training so once they are released from prison, they can benefit society. Prisoners are still people. Lucy Lang wrote in an article published on August 27, 2019 in The Atlantic, that while the criminal justice system nationally and locally has undergone significant reforms in recent years, the system requires far more extensive change. She also wrote that reform-minded prosecutors are looking to public health and harm reduction models as they try to keep many people out of prison and to identify ways to carefully tailor the appropriate amount of prison time for others. Today, there are over 2.3 million United States citizens locked away in prison or jail. In 1980, there was only 315,000 people locked up. As the United States has implemented new programs, such as Tough on Crime and the War on Drugs, the prison population has grown significantly. In the article, Our Criminal Justice System is Built to Inflict Pain, published by Van Jones of CNN News, he said that American prisons are built on the idea of retributive justice, where the primary goal is to punish and seek vengeance. It's a model that aims to incapacitate people who commit crimes and create powerful, painful incentives for them to act right in the future. While prisons are helpful in keeping prisoners who have committed terrible crimes away from society, at least 95% of all state prisoners at some point in their lives will be released back into society. These people that are coming back into society need some sort of skills or education in order to be helpful and maintain a steady job and live on their own. The United States prison system should implement more programs that help these prisoners get an education or get some sort of job training while they are in prison, so then when they are released, they can have opportunities to get jobs. That way, when they are released, they don't go back to their old ways of crime and rather benefit society. More than 60% of prisoners released out of prison end up back in prison after 8 years because they fall back into their old habits. These education and vocational programs would significantly lower the recidivism rate if offered to prisoners. Prisoners are still people. In a 2017 article titled Mental Health of Prisoners, published by the United States National Library of Health, observed that mental health disorders among prisoners have consistently exceeded rates of such disorders in the general population. And correctional facilities in the United States are often considered to be the largest provider of mental health services. Often prisoners go to prison. Often mental health inmates go to prison just to get help. A large percentage of the prison population have some sort of mental illness. These prisoners with mental illnesses are often treated like any other prisoner would, which just makes their problems much worse. Prisoners with mental illnesses or substance abuse problems should be given the proper treatment. Prisoners with mental illnesses should be evaluated and moved into the psych ward where they can get the proper health and medicine that they need, and not be locked up behind bars like an animal. Those with substance abuse problems should get counseling and go to rehab and also get the proper medication they need so when they are released, they can live on their own and take care of themselves. Prison should not be a place where people go to die. It should be a place where people can learn from their mistakes, rehabilitate, and then become a functioning member of society again. Instilling these programs will allow more families to have two parents in a household, which is a huge problem in the United States. It would also give prisoners a chance to learn a skill in prison so that when they are released, they can benefit the community. Prisoners with mental illnesses or drug issues will get the proper care that they deserve instead of sitting behind bars as their issues worsen. Overall, these programs and plans would make the lives of inmates much better and create a system that is fair but yet effective. I hope that you can take the issue of prison and criminal justice reform seriously as it impacts millions of people in the United States. These changes should be made to create change to a system that has been flawed for hundreds of years. Thank you for listening to my speech, and I hope that you can spread this information to others in hopes of one day making a huge difference. Thank you.